So yeah, back to the ice storm. Um, it's been devastating for people here in northern Michigan. I did an interview with ABC News, and they used a small portion of it. And I've seen other people doing interviews with other news organizations, but I don't think the full impact of this ice storm has been realized yet. One of the things my wife and I have been doing when there was no power in the last several days as well is to try to clean up the branches and the fallen trees in our yard. And um, it's unbelievable the number of trees that have been destroyed and that I don't think are going to come back. And we've gotten comments, a lot of people have gotten comments that they're only trees, but people move to places like this, northern Michigan, for things like the trees, for the beauty of being out in the woods. So to us in northern Michigan, they're not only trees. They're what part of what makes northern Michigan northern Michigan. And yeah, the trees will eventually grow back, but you have trees that have had their tops snapped off that were upwards of 90 feet tall. Those trees are not going to come back. Those trees are going to eventually die. And it's sad. It is sad, and it's an emotional thing for a person like myself, and I'm sure many others. Um, the other day when I was out cutting trees down that had no limbs and had no tops, they were going to die anyways. It was heartbreaking for me. As I cut these trees, and it being mid-April, springtime, right? So as I'm cutting these trees, they are just full of sap, and the sap just oozes out when you cut them, and it literally made me feel as if the trees were crying. But there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. So take that with a grain of salt, right? We can't look back, can't say we should have done this or should have done that. There's nothing that we could have done to prevent this, I don't think. Nothing that we could have done to prepare for it. But that's my 2 cents on the storm. We still need help here in northern Michigan. Help is coming. We've got power restored. Thank God for the linemen that came in from other states, and heard different stories from different linemen about experienced linemen stating that they've been doing this their whole life, 30, 40 years, and they've never seen devastation this far and this wide, even in situations like hurricanes. And yes, people lose their lives during hurricanes. I get that. I understand that. It's not a fair comparison, but as far as the landscape goes, the devastation of the trees and the forest it's incredible. It's you really have to be here to see it, to understand the scope of it. Even in videos that I've produced and other people have produced, you really can't get the scope of it. And especially if you haven't been here, lived here when the trees were not broken in half, not had lost all their limbs, it's hard for people to understand. So anyways, back to the woodworking. I'm going to use my new favorite polyurethane, this water-based varathane. I'm really happy with it so far, especially the low odor or no odor, pretty much. Quick drying, easy to work with, water cleanup. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Hopefully it didn't cause anybody any issues as far as what I said about the trees and about what's going on here in northern Michigan. We are very fortunate that there wasn't a lot of destruction to personal property. There wasn't destruction to persons themselves. It is my understanding a couple people did pass away due to the storm, not being crushed by trees or anything like that, thank God. But due to a couple of them I heard froze to death, and unfortunately there was a lineman that had an accident and passed away as well. So that's all tragic, and our hearts and our thoughts and prayers go out to those people, those families that did lose those loved ones. But yeah, it could have been a lot worse. So